The Andean Altiplano. A rugged sky-high plain in the remote heart of Bolivia. From towering volcanic peaks to glowing multicolored lakes, it is one of South America's last great wildlands. Home to a vast salt desert, so outer-worldly, it has been dubbed heaven on earth. A hotbed of volcanic energy, harking back to a prehistoric age. A haven for rare Andean wildlife. And a never-before-seen view of one of the world's most pristine wilderness frontiers. The Bolivian Altiplano. A desolate highland plateau stretching 800 kilometers between the eastern and western chains of the Andes. Altiplano means high plain. The average altitude of this barren, windswept expanse is a skyscraping 3,750 meters, higher than many peaks of the Rocky Mountains. The largest mountain plateau outside Tibet, the Altiplano was formed by an earth-shattering collision between the Pacific Ocean floor and the South American mainland millions of years ago. Two mountain chains, once part of the ocean floor, were driven upwards from the depths, flanking a high and level plateau. In the southern tip of the Altiplano, near the crest of the Andes, lies a snowy white plain, so vast, so perfectly level, that it defies belief. The Uyuni Salt Flat.
Uyuni salt flat is magic, it's amazing. So it's thousands of kilometers square of salt. It's volcanoes around it, so it's amazing, beautiful.
It is January, the rainy season in Uyuni, and a thin film of rainwater pools on parts of the salt flat. At more than 10,000 square kilometers, this is the world's largest salt flat. Locked inside the thick, hard crust under the rainwater are 10 billion tons of salt. The salar, as it's known in Spanish, is so far-reaching, so blindingly white that it can be seen from space. It would take a backhoe digging 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 40,000 years to remove the entire salt flat. A hard and spiky layer of salt, 20 centimeters thick, shines white under a burning Bolivian sun. Beneath this crust, the salt is soaked in briny water and reaches depths of 120 meters. But the hard and dry surface contracts in the blistering sun, forming cracks and a seemingly endless pattern of hexagonal plates shaped by elevated salt. Few places on Earth are as flat as Uyuni. Over an area of more than 10,000 square kilometers, its elevation varies less than 1 meter. When skies are clear, NASA bounces signals off the Salar's flat surface to calibrate its satellites in space. More than 30,000 years ago, this was the bottom of a deep inland sea that flooded the southern Altiplano. Dried by the arid climate, the sea evaporated, leaving behind immense stores of salt, deposited from the Andes over millions of years. Of Uyuni's 10 billion tons of salt, just 25,000 are extracted annually. Local people create piles to dry the salt. For transport to nearby Colchani, where it is milled with iodine and sold as table salt. Harvesting salt is arduous. At an altitude of more than 3,600 meters, the oxygen level in Uyuni is low. The thin mountain air is heated quickly by an unforgiving sun, making UV radiation more than 30% stronger than at sea level. The people of the Altiplano have adapted to these extreme conditions, with large lung volume and high levels of red blood cells in their system.
The people are strong here because we are descendants of different cultures, Quechuas, Aymaras, Lorlipes. They feeling too happy in the highest places, next to the mountains, next to the volcanoes, where the sky is blue, where the stars is so clear, when the winds whistle here in the evening. The life here is really, really hard. The sun, the wind. We are special people of the Altiplano.
Battered by wind and parched by sun, the Salar is devoid of visible signs of life. Coaxing crops from this harsh landscape is not possible. and the salt harvest has become key to the local economy. But far greater riches lie in the briny water beneath these salt flats. Lithium. The soft metal used in batteries for computers, mobile phones, and electric cars. Uyuni is home to more than half the world's known lithium reserves, a natural resource that could be worth more than $1 trillion to the Bolivian economy. The government of Bolivia is intent on developing the lithium industry. In 2013, Bolivia opened a lithium production plant near the salt flat. In the middle of this desolate plain, a jagged outcrop of land rises abruptly on the bleached horizon. Isla Incahuasi, Inca House Island. This is the peak of an ancient underwater volcano, dating back some 40,000 years, when Uyuni was a giant prehistoric lake. Soaring cacti stand like Stonehenge monuments amid coral structures and volcanic rock, alone in a sea of salt.
It's pretty amazing to see volcanic rocks in the middle of the salt flat with cactus, so it's pretty beautiful.
As the light dies on a winter's night in Uyuni, rainwater on the salt flat creates a dreamlike landscape. The world's largest natural mirror. The local Quechua people say that on the salt flat, it is impossible to tell where the earth ends and heaven begins. About 250 kilometers south of the Uyuni salt flat, an ancient salt lake ringed by volcanoes blushes under the Altiplano sky. Laguna Colorada, Red Lagoon. At 4,300 meters above sea level, it is one of the world's highest lakes, and also one of its most unusual. The striking color is caused by red sediment and the pigmentation of algae stirred up by the Altiplano wind.
I'm feeling like another world. It's unique places. There is around here. I'm feeling like close to the sky because we are in a high place. We're feeling the cloud is lower. It's amazing. I don't have words for express when I come to here.
Islands of borax, the mineral used in household detergent, dot the cold red lake, which stretches 60 square kilometers across the desert. Laguna Colorada is one of the largest of the Altiplano's many lagoons, formed when the water from melting glaciers flooded its basin.
It's magic. When you arrive there, it's a peaceful place. You can see the color red on the lake, at the same time the color white on the borax, and the mountains that are take care of this place. It's beautiful because you can see flamingos living there in a peaceful place.
On the southernmost border with Chile, at the foot of a magnificent volcano, the barren Altiplano gives way to a shimmering emerald salt lake. Laguna Verde, Green Lagoon. A dense brew of arsenic and magnesium render the lake a vibrant turquoise. Bitter winds whip across this region of the Altiplano. Temperatures can reach a bone-chilling -32 degrees Celsius. Only Laguna Verde's unique chemical composition keeps it from freezing in the biting cold. Sulfuric suds, whipped up by wind, gather on the crusted shore. Dominating the landscape, a giant rises like an ancient pyramid among the clouds. Licancabur volcano. Licancabur means mountain of the people in the local Atacameño language. At 5,800 meters, it is one of the tallest volcanoes in the Andes. Hidden inside its 400-meter-wide crater is the world's highest volcanic lagoon, Licancabur Lake. Licancabur may look like a remnant from a forgotten prehistoric world, but it is far from extinct. Dormant for at least 500 years, it could erupt at any time. A frightening combination of beauty and terrible power. It is a 5-hour climb over steep and rocky slopes to reach the summit. Hikers who do so must face the physiological effects of thin mountain air, shortness of breath and fatigue, and the battering wind that whips across the Altiplano. Connected to Laguna Verde by a small strait are the chalky waters of Laguna Blanca, White Lagoon. On the shores of the lagoon lie scatterings of black volcanic rock, a reminder of the violent geological turmoil that shaped these foothills. Soft, powdery borax, created by the repeated evaporation of the lake, is suspended in the water, creating a ghostly white hue that reflects the looming volcanoes. These lagoons are rich with life. Colorful plankton and algae provide an ideal feeding ground for the flamingo, making the Altiplano the nest of the Andes. By the end of each breeding season, there are about 100,000 cold-weather flamingos on these lagoons. 3 of the world's 6 species flock here: James's, Andean, and Chilean flamingos. Hidden between mountain passes 5,000 meters high, these rugged habitats offer flamingos protection from predators. Few creatures can survive the unforgiving extremes of the Altiplano. Those that do, such as foxes and mountain lions, are prevented from feeding on the birds' eggs by the quaggy mud pits that surround these lagoons. Despite the inhospitable conditions, flamingos thrive on these caustic lakes, sifting shrimp and algae from the saltwater through highly adapted bills. Tongues pump up and down 6 times per second, pushing water through their beaks, allowing them to filter their food. A Chilean flamingo stamps its webbed feet in the mud, stirring up algae and plankton from the bottom of the lagoon. Each species of flamingo forages from different depths to avoid competition. Only in the Altiplano will all 3 species of flamingo feed side by side. 30 kilometers from the tinted waters of the Green Lagoon, the Altiplano lays claim to one of the world's most extraordinary natural wonders. A place where desolation and strange beauty collide. The Dali Desert, so named for its resemblance to the paintings of the surrealist master, Salvador Dali.
You can see the sand and volcanic rocks, and it's a painting, not from Salvador Dali. And that painting with this landscape is exactly, that is the reason that we can call a surrealistic landscape there now, because it's so beautiful.
Volcanic rock formations, sand blasted over thousands of years by sub-zero winds, poke out of a parched and ashen wasteland that stretches more than 100 square kilometers. These sculptures, gouged and shaped by the ravages of time, haunt the surreal landscape.
The weather in the Altiplano, in the highest places, it's unpredictable. It could be rain, snow, windy, cloudy.
The only apparent life forms on this rocky Martian terrain are small tufts of Paja brava, the tough porcupine-like grass clumps that cling to life on the Altiplano. Even more arid than the Dali Desert are the stark, high-altitude badlands of Siloli. This is one of the world's driest regions, part of the Atacama Desert in neighboring Chile. The Atacama is one of the driest places on Earth. In the northern parts of Atacama, where rainfall is measured, the desert receives average annual precipitation of less than 1 millimeter, less than the thickness of a single dime. The Andes act like a massive rain wall, more than 4,000 meters high, blocking moist easterly winds from winding down to the desert. In the middle of this haunted, forsaken land, a startling rock figure, 6 meters tall, braces itself against the wind. Stone tree, named for its resemblance to the quinoa, the stunted tree that grows in the Andean highlands. Winds that reach speeds of 60 kilometers an hour carry coarse bits of sand and rock that have eroded the stone over thousands of years. Farther along the desert, the primitive beauty of the Altiplano is brought to bear. At a favorite destination for daring rock climbers, the craggy hills and boulders of Rock Valley. Jagged rock sculptures, some as high as 50 meters, jut raggedly from the massive desert plain. Carved and cracked by centuries of wind, some have taken the shape of faces. Others are poised like dinosaurs on a prehistoric landscape. Layers of ignimbrite, the volcanic rock spread by eruptions millions of years ago, stretch for dozens of kilometers into the distance. This is the Valley of Catal. A prehistoric landscape, strewn with volcanic rock, reveals the geological upheaval that shaped these battered plains. Hidden within the scorched and broken hills is a completely unexpected find. An oasis, as verdant and lush as an English lawn, offers grazing ground for a herd of llamas, one of the oldest domesticated animals in the Americas. Wetlands like these are native to the Andes and can only be found above 3,800 meters. Water from rain and melting glaciers feeds the low, spongy grasses, which feed the llamas and provide a vivid touch of color to the barren steppe land. More than 70% of the world's llamas are in Bolivia. Relatives of the camel, they have evolved perfectly for the high-altitude extremes of the Altiplano. High amounts of red blood cells collect oxygen from their lungs and carry it throughout the body, allowing them to thrive in oxygen-depleted air. In hostile, arid stretches of desert, they are able to go days without water, making them an ideal pack animal for the indigenous people of the Altiplano. For centuries, these intelligent herd animals were known as the cargo ships of the Andes. Colorful ribbons attached to their ears distinguish one domestic herd from another. Teeth and gums are finely developed for the tough Andean vegetation. Sharp lower incisors and hard upper gums cut the plants, which then pass through the llama's 3 stomachs to aid digestion. The llama is covered in a double coat. An outer coat of rough hair protects it from harsh weather. An inner coat of fine hair helps regulate heat from the blazing midday sun. Llamas remain alert at all times. Mountain lions prowl these peaks and prey on young members of the herd. In the grasslands that ring the Valley of Catal, another favorite prey of the mountain lion treads carefully across the terrain, the rhea. A relative of the ostrich and emu, the rhea is South America's largest flightless bird, reaching heights of almost 2 meters. Though flightless, the rhea has long, powerful legs and is able to move swiftly to avoid potential predators. Long wings are used to maintain balance as the rhea reaches top speeds of 60 kilometers an hour. North of the Catal oasis, a mighty canyon plunges deep below a narrow rock precipice. The Valley of the Hidden City. The canyon is as old as the Andes themselves, formed 65 million years ago, when ancient continents collided, driving rock upward as high as 7,000 meters. Fractures in the sheer volcanic rock face create the impression of tiny buildings in the distance. These valleys, rippling with formations of volcanic rock, are emblematic of the Bolivian Altiplano. Despite their geologic significance, many are not charted on maps. Bolivia is a country with at least 30 recognized ethnic groups and more than 30 official languages. As a result, the same valley may have several different names. Beyond this hidden valley, on the edge of the Altiplano, Bolivia's highest peak pierces the clouds, Mount Sajama. At an altitude of more than 6,500 meters, its summit remains capped in snow year-round. From the foot of the mountain, an acclimatized team can reach the peak in 3 days. The foothills around Mount Sajama sustain one of the world's highest forests, at more than 5,000 meters above sea level. Like cacti, these hardy quinoa trees require very little water. So close to the top of a soaring volcano, little else can survive. These windswept plains are home only to those creatures strong enough to adapt to the high altitude and harsh climate that grips the Altiplano. The vicuña, the world's smallest camel, a wild ancestor of the alpaca. The vicuña's thick, soft coat traps the sun's heat, protecting it from frigid nighttime temperatures. But the same coat that protects the vicuña from the biting cold nearly led to its extinction. Highly valued for their soft fur, vicuñas were nearly wiped out by hunting in the middle of the last century. At one point in the 1970s, just 6,000 remained. Today, vicuñas are protected in Bolivia, and it is illegal to hunt them. Poachers, hoping to trade vicuña fur on the lucrative black market, face stiff fines and even jail time. Fortunately for the vizcacha, their fur is in a constant state of molting and has no value in the fur trade. Still, their coat is thick and keeps them warm, especially while sunning in the rocky foothills. Though they look like rabbits, vizcachas are actually chinchillas. Fleshy pads on their feet help them move quickly on the rocky terrain to evade predators. Meanwhile, further south in the foothills of the Andes, jets of steam erupt from the Earth's subterranean fires. Both a natural spectacle and a powerful indication of the intense volcanic activity that began tens of millions of years ago and continues to transform the Altiplano today. More than a kilometer below, hot magma chambers heat the cool groundwater that filters down from vents in the surface. These reservoirs of boiling water convert to vapor, which explodes from the earth in billows of sulfurous steam. Steam pools, fed by bubbling underground cauldrons, boil and hiss in the cool Altiplano ground, just as they have for millions of years. High on the desert plain, the geothermal field leads to a further reminder of an ancient era. Chulpas, the funeral towers built by the Aboriginal Aymara people from earth, water, and Andean grass as long ago as the 13th century. The Aymara believed in reincarnation. Each of these proud tombs points to the east, where light and heat from the morning sunrise nurture new life. A chulpa facing west, it was believed, would result in the burning of the soul. Mummies inside the tomb were placed in the fetal position for rebirth, then entombed with cocoa leaves, gold and silver. Gold to represent the sun, silver to represent the moon, the two gods of the ancestral people of the Altiplano. When the Aymara were conquered by the Spanish in the 16th century, Catholic churches like this were built all along the Altiplano. In small highland villages, many people still speak Quechua, the language of the Incas, and herd llamas and alpacas, as their ancestors have for centuries. Smaller than llamas, alpacas are not used as pack animals, but are bred specifically for their fiber, woven into sweaters and blankets. A once-yearly shearing can yield as much as 4 kilos of fleece. The alpaca's long neck helps it spot predators. A specialized stomach allows it to absorb extra nutrients, enabling it to survive on tough, altiplanic grass. Here, where the Andes are at their wildest. From towering snow-capped peaks to glowing lakes, the Bolivian Altiplano is an unspoiled natural wonder. A breeding ground for creatures adapted to some of the most brutal habitats on the planet. A place of surreal deserts, restless volcanoes, and vast seas of salt that have remained unchanged for millennia. Here, near the top of the earth.